Hey y'all, welcome to Off-Road Endeavor. What I've got behind me is Project Misuse. This is my 2001 Ford Sport Track I'm turning into a build. And so let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. This is going to be a Raptor conversion Sport Track. It's going to get trailing arms in the back with coilovers and hydraulic bump stops. It's got a fiberglass Raptor conversion front end that I need to modify to this particular vehicle. It's a solid axle, crossover steering, high steer, 3 links, hydraulic bump stops. And so one of the things I was trying to figure out is my crawl ratios, trying to get a more respectable crawl ratio. I'm running 42-inch pit bull, so I need something that's going to get me down a little bit lower to be able to crawl over stuff a little bit better on the trail. I looked into some of the old cut and modified transfer case options a couple of years ago, a decade ago, and Behemoth Drivetrain was one of those companies that offered that cut and fabricate yourself doublers. So I looked at them again. They no longer have that cut low price option. They have some more expensive but reliable products that are going to withstand not just your everyday weekend outings, but also that rock bash, balancer, competition style abuse that can be dished out on them. So I went ahead and got one of their Ranger doubler kits, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the unboxing at this point. We'll do another video later for all the component swapping from the donor case and into the vehicle. So let's go ahead and take a look at this box as it came. Here we go. Behemoth Drivetrain. So here we've got the Behemoth Drivetrain Ranger StrongBox in. You can see right off, it's a nice box, nice packaging. My kids, when it showed up, the first thing they said is like, "Oh, look at the dinosaurs on that thing. So cool." So, it's very appeasing to the eye. One of the things, I love the colors too. Blue is one of my favorite colors, so that is something that I draw to. When you look at it, it's a nice construction of the packaging. One of the things that you can see up on the top is it's got a QR code in addition to the logo and the packing slip. However, here's one thing that I found a little bit difficult. They had a packing slip directly over the instructions of what the QR code is, where it says, "For install instructions, scan the QR code or visit." There's no other website address there. The QR code does work. I checked it out. It goes to their support installation page. However, right now there are no installation videos or specific written instructions for the StrongBox. It just links for the electric to manual shift conversion kit and their twin stick shifting kits. So hopefully that's something they have in development to be able to add some additional instruction videos and written documents. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. All right, we've got a postcard, handwritten note. We've got a Behemoth Drivetrain logo sticker. The card says, "Thank you for your order. Your new StrongBox was inspected and packaged by Jackson Tucker." Sorry, Jackson. "If you leave a chance to share a video of your new box, I would love to see it. You can tag me on Instagram at Behemoth Drivetrain. Enjoy, Jackson." Will do. You'll see this up here on the web. So appreciate that personalized message. My kids love stickers, so this will definitely be a big hit with them. Great graphics, great vinyl. We've also got, you can see, it's got a foam packaging that's cut out for, it looks like a bearing and seal, also cut out for this package right here. So shrink wrap. Or bubble wrap. So great logo on the bubble wrap. It's got some bolts, seal, and also some additional Allen head bolts. So from Fastenal. So we've got that. Nice bearing. So again, taking a look, we've got some foam packaging specifically cut for it. And then we've got our main StrongBox here, and it looks like the shaft is up in here. Get these out of the way. Again, see that other layer out? We've got that foam packaging. That reveals our shaft. And then the StrongBox. It's a lot lighter than I expected. I was expecting to have to do a two-hand manhandle with this thing, but just one hand pulls that thing out. I'll probably put this thing on a scale and actually see what the overall weight is of it, but pretty good packaging. So definitely it's not going to be just that bubble wrap or cardboard or crumpled up paper. Good support. Make sure this thing stays secure and doesn't get banged up in that box. So there we got that. Taking a look then, it's a pretty smooth. I'm not a machinist by trade or even by practice, so I couldn't comment exactly on the technicalities of that, but it looks like a nice machine product. Since I mentioned I was surprised with how light this was, they don't just lift it out of the box with one hand. I went ahead and grabbed my scale to weigh and see how much it comes up to. Comes up to 17 pounds, 0.5 ounces. So, what does that mean? I've got my donor transfer case here. This thing weighs in at 63 pounds, 15 ounces, so almost 64 pounds. So quite a large difference. Obviously there's different internals still in here. The StrongBox doesn't have the planetary in it. But there's the differences. So get some further inspections, first impressions on this StrongBox. Again, I love the blue, so you've got me there. But it's got this laser etching, I'm guessing. It's got a nice Behemoth logo etched onto the housing. This is a two-piece 6061 T6 aluminum machine piece billet. So it's got some strength there, not the cast that they mention on their website that can induce some stress, air bubbles, different things in the manufacturing process to make it weaker. So they claim that this is a stronger material housing. This is the Shorty. So there's two different options for at least the Ranger StrongBox. You have the Shorty, which I purchased, and then you have the regular StrongBox. Reason why I had to do the Shorty is the distance between my transfer case and my existing gas tank and the cross member it was right around 6 or 7 inches. Not very long, and so I needed it as compact as possible. So the trade-off by getting the Shorty is I lose a clocking ring. So it does have a third piece here that will bolt up in place of the front housing of the transfer case for the 1354. But I do not have that clocking ring that adds a few inches that is standard on the normal length StrongBoxes. So a little bit of a trade-off there. One thing they talk about too on their website I've seen is the shifting mechanism. So it's very, very firm, but the locating is very precise and stiff, and so that it's not going to kick out. There were some reviews, I guess, before the shifting mechanism wasn't very secure, and so it would wobble or it would take a little bit of finessing to get into place. This is a very specific and sturdy type of shifting mechanism. One other thing too, on the Colossus case, that's another option they have in either the Dana 300 style or the MP205 style. With that case, they have screws that will screw in and jack off the two pieces, so it'll separate the two pieces with a jacking screw. This kit this StrongBox right here, it looks like it just has the little grooves for like a screwdriver or pry bar to separate the two halves. So that's my speculation there with these little cutouts on that. So it does have multiple holes here on the front face, so there might be some adjustability in that outside of a clocking ring. So I'll look into that when I'm putting it together. Also to mention, the shaft, shrink wrapped. It's got a snap ring. Again, not an expert in this, but they mentioned that it's a 4340 hardened shaft. So you're not going to get any problems related to twisting or snapping or breaking with that. So 4340 hardened shaft, as they claim. So just kind of how this is going to work in its application on the vehicle. You've got your engine transmission combination over here. The output of the transmission is then going to feed into the front of the StrongBox. You got your planetary set inside that's going to have your gear reduction, 2.48 on the Ranger 1354. And then on the Shorty, it looks like we're going to be removing this front piece on the transfer case. That's going to then bolt up, and so this will be in place here. So go in between your transmission, your transfer case, give you that additional 2.48 gear reduction. Then in addition to the existing 2.48 gear reduction in the 1354 transfer case, you get that double low. So that's going to be another video about the install on that and how it goes together. I guess to say I'm quite impressed with it. It's definitely not an inexpensive option. One thing they do say that they're not off-road on a budget. You know, it may have been when they first started the company years ago. It was at least a decade ago, I think, when I was watching some of the online forums back in 2012 or earlier. That was where they had the, take the donor case, cut it, weld in some aluminum, do some different things there. You were getting away with a $400 to $800 kit. This kit, as purchased in January of 2022, ran about $1,400. So definitely not an inexpensive option, but like I say, it's high performance at a fair price. They say fair because I'm guessing they relate back to their mission statement, their core values as a company, which they say are adaptability, durability, and reliability. The adaptability, it's not as much in this. Their examples they give is a clocking ring, be able to adjust the angles that you need for dropping your transfer case. Definitely though, the adaptability option to be able to give a doubler in a spec for the Ranger that's not very common or optional in many companies across the board. So I find just the adaptability and be able to find a kit for the Ranger is fair. So durability, we'll find out. They talk about durability related to the 6061 T6 billet aluminum halves, and then also the 4340 hardened shaft. So durability there, and making sure that the parts are going to last and hold up to the use and abuse that it may come under. And then the reliability, talking about their business, their customer support and communication, as well as the components, be able to rely on them. I will say for the customer support, I did some emails since I hadn't really followed up in a decade on their options. Found out that they had been purchased by Win Capital in 2020, so some business changes in the last few years. But when I reached out to them, I got an email immediately back. Dylan, he had given me some information in the emails, as well as provided contact information and a request to communicate by phone so we could talk verbally and make sure that everything was understood, what was expected, what was available. And we communicated a few different times about some specifics. Had to go back and check some of my stuff and give that info back to them. And we came up with what they had to offer, and I was willing to go forward with it. Even though the price was different from what I expected a decade ago, but definitely the product is different, and I think the price reflects that with the equipment, the components, and the machining. So we'll see how it all goes together later in another video for the install, packaging of all this. Like I said, it's going to be a different application. It's going to take the planetaries. It's a do-it-yourself builder kit. So this is not just a plug and play where you get it out of the box, plug it on, bolt it on, and good to go. You're going to have to use a donor box, take out the planetaries, and go ahead and put that in here. So let's get this thing split in half and see what the different components are. So the back side, we've got the StrongBox to transfer case adapter. It looks like it's going to be replacing that front plate on the transfer case. And then this StrongBox doesn't have any jacking screws. It's got these little indents, so we're going to need to pop those. I kind of hate doing it because I feel like I'm going to scratch it. It's so beautiful. Wow, okay, so picks apart. Look at that. So nice big solid front piece. Love the blue, gotta say. And then here's our middle piece. I do have a little bit of the packing foam that's inside, so it'd be a good reason to take this apart outside of having to put the planetaries in. Look through, make sure you don't have any debris. Probably clean it all up before you put everything together. One thing you'll see is this has got a machine groove all the way around it, and it's got an O-ring to help seal the two halves together. And another thing that I can notice right away is the shifting mechanism in here. That cross piece is substantial. It's pretty thick shifting mechanism, shifting seat, and then you can see how those detents work. And it looks like there's even adjustability on the detent too. You've got an Allen threaded through here, so there might be some adjustability in that detent. I'm not sure, but it looks like there may. But definitely a robust shifting mechanism as far as keeping it in place, not losing it and kicking out. It's got 8 machined holes all the way through. And that looks like it's going to be maybe for fluid transfer between the existing transfer case and this case, and so it will share fluid. Speculation, I don't know exactly, but it looks like that's what those machining holes are for. It does match up. There's 4 machined holes through holes on the bottom. It'll be inside the case area, and the application of the orientation of this transfer case with the output on the driver's side, looks like that would place those holes in the bottom, which I suspect is going to be for that fluid transfer to go through back and forth. So, good consideration there. But overall, pretty happy with how it looks. It's definitely, as you can see, it's not a bolt-in. It's not a buy it and bolt it on and go out wheeling immediately. This is a do-it-yourself builder kit, so that's why I've got the donor case, the 1354, to be able to take the planetaries and the sun gear out of it, go ahead and transfer those over to this half, and then the shifting mechanism in here. Throw in that bearing there as well, and we did have that additional bearing that came for that, probably the rear location. So I'm going to do another video on the install. Like I said, this is just the unboxing, first impressions, overview of what I purchased, the Ranger Shorty StrongBox from Behemoth Drivetrain. Overall, definitely impressed with it. Happy to see how it's going to work in my application, especially the Shorty, so I don't have to modify fuel tanks and cross members and some other things. So there we have. If you're interested in your own, go ahead and go to Behemoth Drivetrain. Not a sponsor of this video, but additional products they do have for the 1354. Since a lot of them are the electric shift, they do have a manual or electronic to manual shift conversion, so you can lose that motor and just go to a solid shifting mechanism. They do offer some single, dual, and triple shift kits, as well as a Colossus kit that's going to be similar to the Behemoth 300, but lighter and stronger, as well as an MP205 transfer case kit. And I believe they do have 4-to-1 kicks as well, so a lot in their product line to provide you with resources for your transfer case and doubler applications. So go ahead and shoot over to them if you're interested in looking and seeing what kind of stuff they have available. Again, great customer service that I've experienced as I was looking into this and contacting them about some of my concerns and questions. That's it for my review of the StrongBox from Behemoth Drivetrain, initial impressions. So if you want to follow along with my build, installation of this into Project Misuse, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and you can follow along. I will be putting in, like I said, the kind of the put together, the install of this kit with the donor, and then I'll be doing an install on the vehicle later. So more additional build stuff on my channel for that, as well as a lot of my Ford Excursion and just tools and tips, some different educational material I'm going to try and provide. Appreciate you watching.